Grand Rising, Soul Fam, and happy Saturday, Saturn's Day. Lighting a candle here. As soon as you light a candle, you're in ceremony. I always light a candle before I do these social media posts. So we are in a new gene key, and I wanted to share, be the love. I'm gonna have that showing. Okay, so I wanted to share some resources today for anybody that wanted to contemplate this cosmic intelligence that's available to us right now. We have the sun in Pisces, we have the moon in Aries, we have just had the new moon, and we have Venus retrograde for the next 40 days. Imagine devoting time to love and beauty. That's what the planet represents, that's in retrograde, every single day. Before your feet even hit the pavement, before you get on with the day and out the door. Imagine just taking the first 40 minutes of your day or hour of your day or however feels good. Maybe it's 5 minutes of your day, but just bringing in some consciousness, some awareness, some radical aliveness in the eternal now, just to be with yourself. And just find out, maybe just intuitively by checking in with yourself, which is simply to place a hand over your heart and listening and seeing what do you need today, and then giving yourself that every day for 40 days and watch how it transforms your life. You can put your phone on Do Not Disturb and, mute all your notifications. To be honest, that's how my phone lives. And just give yourself an opportunity to check in, to devote yourself to yourself before the world starts asking everything from you. So today I wanted to share from the Gene Keys. This one I have a particular fondness with. This is my life's work and brand according to the Gene Keys. And it's Gene Key 63. It's the shadow of doubt. It's the gift of inquiry, and it's the divine expression of truth. So I have found that just being in curiosity, being in inquiry to start my day, what is it all for? How can I best serve? How can I be used for the highest and greatest good? When we start asking these big questions, dissolving into the one, we get the truth of why we're here. So here we go. It starts off with a Richard Rudd quote that says, "The human logical mind is simply not designed to be certain of anything other than paradox." My wisdom story. Here we go. This is by Dr. Rosie Aronson. This is a beautiful oracle deck and companion to the Gene Keys. My wisdom story. As a kid, I'd ask my parents a question, and they'd answer me with logic and certainty. Rainbows were meteorological phenomena, and unicorns were a physical impossibility. There were still so many things I wondered about. The more my family laughed at my ridiculous questions, the more I thought I was stupid. As a young man, every thought, fantasy, and opinion that occurred to me was poured through an internalized critical filter. I constantly doubted who I was, what I thought, what I did, and how I felt. And I second-guessed every decision I made, either to a point of paralysis or regrettable impulsivity. I couldn't relax until I got to the bottom of things, saw an entire pattern, or landed on an objective truth, which of course I could never find, which made me even more anxious. So I learned more and more and more, and I kept myself doubts to myself. Though agreeable and reasonable in public, I was angry and antagonistic in my intimate relationships. My lover would express a feeling, and I'd be so obsessed with locating the objective truth of the matter that I'd miss the point entirely. I became increasingly suspicious, always expecting others to disagree, doubt, or misunderstand me. I picked fights, got defensive, and gathered evidence, especially when they failed to get the complexity of a situation. Though I clung to the thought that someone had to be right and someone else had to be wrong, it was never that simple. When my self-doubt got so big that I could no longer sleep or function, I sought out professional help. For the first time in my life, I could openly share about the doubts that plagued me. At first, I doubted the counselor could help me, but she hung in there, encouraging me not to act on my doubts, especially when they were at their most intense. Over time, she helped me appreciate my mind's unique gift for inquiry and to embrace the paradoxical nature of life. With support, I developed a mindfulness practice. As my mind became a more loving witness, I saw just how many people suffered from self-doubt and how my struggles to understand were a part of what made me human. Now I help others experience various states of awareness and explore the mystery of their true nature. My gift to you. I come to celebrate your love of inquiry, but also to remind you that your inquisitive mind and gift for doubting are best served in service of the world, not in service of beating yourself up. See if you can remain genuinely curious about life without insisting on finding answers. Stay open to learning as your understanding of life becomes increasingly complex and paradoxical. Be curious about your own suffering, for it will open your compassionate heart. One day, your brilliant mind will lead you back to yourself. And how could it not? You are forever intertwined with everything you've ever learned. I love that quote that says, when I went looking for myself, I found God. When I went looking for God, I found myself. Questions for contemplation. Are you plagued with self-doubt? Do your self-doubts make you anxious or keep you awake at night? Do you tend to feel suspicious of the people in your life, of their motives and agendas? Do your suspicions tend to cause others to be defensive around you? How could your gift of inquiry be used as a service in the world? Where has it already come in handy? What does truth mean to you? I love the birds coming in over here. How has your relationship to truth changed over the years? And lastly, try doubting your self-doubt for a day. Notice what happens and journal your thoughts. So as I said, this would be a beautiful time to do a 40 days of devotion challenge by simply greeting the day with inquiry and meeting it with limitless possibility and journaling about what comes through. If you were going to live in the land of truth, where all the make-believe could become true, it could be the utopia of your greatest fantasy, what would you desire it to look like, to smell like, to sound like, to taste like, to be experienced like? Crystallize it as much as you can. Who would be there sharing this experience with you? This make-believe is how we make it into our belief system. When we believe it, we can see it. Then we actually align with the timeline where it is so. This is how we manifest the truth of our highest expression, by being courageous enough to envision it, crystallize it all the way through, and then step right into it. Sending you so much love. Namaste.